Bang, bang, bang.
So, welcome to Pilled. This is a podcast where we deconstruct the manosphere today, this week, and since its inception in the manostratosphere, Red Pill, Crayola 64 universe. So, I'm here, somewhat broke, but a little less broke today, so we celebrate the wins.
We take them. We
Um,
take them.
still a teacher somewhat, so still in a broke profession, but we take what we can get. And I'm a guy in the Bronx with a one-bedroom apartment, a home bar, and my son is a cat. So Olivier, why don't you introduce yourself next, and then our
You make
special guest.
you make it seem like as if like, oh, Olivier, here you go. Here's a nice little layout. I'm just kind of like, um, all right. So I guess my introduction is first and foremost, I'm going to quote the vibe for this past weekend from New York City. Right, my mayor is Muslim, my bagel is
Yes,
Jewish, my Christian
yes,
Dior, my Saturday night is live. Knicks in five. All right, that's
oh,
first and foremost. Um,
always, yes.
so yeah, and honestly, for this past week and for the past, I think what? How old am I? Technically 26 years, right?
Mhm.
New York Knicks fan. Um, and I'm still a father for whatever reason.
The father came well after the New York Knicks fan.
I was a Knicks fan before I was a father. I was Knicks fan
Yeah,
before I was a husband. Okay,
but
in
when you
fact,
introduce yourself now, I feel like it's Knicks fan first, father. Oh yeah, I'm a dad.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny though.
Dad
On
thing. Go
it's
create a
it's funny
human.
on game three. My wife was talking to me. I was like, listen. I know what you're going to tell me is important. I've been a fan before I met you. So whatever this is, unless someone is dying or there's a
Mhm.
fire, it's going to be on pause. And she said, "Okay, enjoy your Knicks." And when
Yeah,
they won game three, excuse me, game four, when they won game four, she was like, "Your team won." I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Can I tell you my thing now?" I was like, "Yeah." So she doesn't understand, but she knows it was important to me. So
does she know beyond your team now that it's the Knicks and that they're like important basketball franchise in New York?
she understands the history that she's like, oh, it's been 53 years since you've won a championship. Like,
Okay,
okay.
so it's the misery. She
She
understands the
understands the
misery.
misery,
Okay, this is
the
important.
organization, or the she understands the historical aspect to it because technically a historian.
Okay,
But other than that, she's like, go team, go sports, go sports. But anyways,
go sport ball thing. Okay,
yeah.
so and we have a special co-host today. Olivier, why don't you do a layup for AJ so he could finish his drink?
Co-host is a big word
Like
for.
how did you meet? Stuff like that.
So it was a beautiful Saturday night.
Okay.
No, no, no. Honestly speaking, the
It was a
way
Wednesday.
I thought it was Tuesday, but probably. Technically, the first time we met was I was a junior at St. John's University. AJ just transferred in, and it was just one of those things where just like we had mutual friend groups, and it's like, hey, I'm AJ, I'm Olivier, cool, cool, and like we were friends in passing, right? Like we would talk, play a couple games of League of Legends, nothing crazy. And then after I graduated, after AJ also graduated, I went to go visit our friend Sage, and Sage was like, "Remember AJ? You want to hang out with AJ?" I was like, "Oh yeah, why not? Whatever." So we are hanging out for the day, made a video out of it, and AJ was studying to do sound engineering stuff. And then, like 3 years later, after or during my graduate school, a mutual or client essentially was like, "Hey, I want to do a podcast." I was like, "I wouldn't sound engineer." I was like, "I know a guy," and then we just had hanging out all the time, and then we became roommates, and then
Oh,
that
okay.
yeah, and that was literally it. I think I summarized it fairly.
No, it was pretty good.
Mm.
I remember the very exact moment where we became like actually close, like best friends. It was like 1 a.m.
Oh,
and that was a Saturday night.
oh, that was a Saturday night.
Oh,
It was
it
1 a.m.
was a specific
and
day.
it was a very specific day where it was like slightly raining, like, or it just finished raining, and Olivier was going through something, and we were both like in his car because we drove. He drove back from a place, and he was like, I'm going through it. And I was like, you want to talk about it? And
I
he
mean,
looks at the time, and he goes, yeah, let's talk about it. And we just talked for like the whole like
Yeah.
2 hours afterwards. And that's how we knew.
That's how you see, you guys. It's nice to know that. Sorry, I'm trying to plug it into my battery won't die. Because it went out. But it's nice to commemorate those things too, not just anniversaries or days with like your significant other or like a child being born.
or Brian crying in the background.
Oh yeah, we
No.
hear it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm not gonna stop it either.
Hey, listen,
All right. Feel,
like your
feel,
dad or something.
feel. Yeah, right. Crazy. Like I'm my husband and a dad. Feel that authentic. I mean, why not at this point? You know, just throw some copyrighted music onto our podcast. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yes, the songs are copyrighted from Disney. Yes, Winnie the Pooh's Disney. You think I don't know my copyrights? I studied Disney for like for 2 weeks. The-
I'm an expert on Disney now. 2
I'm
weeks.
2 weeks. The man did a lot of things. Successful and very ambitious. I'll give him that.
All right, we're back.
I was gonna say also like Adrian, we could have spoken more deeply about like my situation. I
Oh no, we didn't have to. I was gonna do that. That's a you thing if you want to
that's
mention
a
that.
yeah. I mean, long story short, I just had a crush on someone, and I told to express it to AJ. He was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so you didn't judge me for it. You didn't make me feel bad for it. Like, yeah, all right. I see why.
Didn't judge you for what? I missed that.
Yeah. So the night that AJ was talking about Saturday night when we became like actual like best friends. I had a crush on someone, and I was like, hey man, like it's bothering me. Like I have a crush on this person. He was kind of like, yeah, okay, I get it, understand. All right,
Mhm.
didn't go like why or like no. He's like, nah, yeah, I get it.
That's good.
So
See, so crushes aren't gay. Just want to establish that as we move forward into the
Crushes are
area
not
and,
gay.
and mindset we're about to delve into.
Mhm.
unless you're crushing weights, right? Because having a crush on a woman is gay, but if you're crushing weights, that's straight.
So, all right. Well, before we get into this type of weird math, um, let's have AJ introduce himself.
Properly.
So we know
Uh,
you're a great friend of Olivier, but yeah, tell us about yourself.
sure. AJ is my name. Armand Jennings, if you want to get technical about it. Um, I am a sound engineer by trade, storyteller by trade.
Ooh.
I really enjoy telling and sharing stories with people, and that mostly comes out through either just talking with others or through wanting to express that through audio engineering or through audio stories in general. Um, Big nerd,
Nerd.
bigger geek, newly married by 3 months exactly
Oh,
today,
Ooh.
another
which
married man. Okay, let's
interesting.
do it.
Yeah, like 3 months ago, like on the dot, I was married. Um, Living in the heat of Texas, specifically San Antonio. Even though I'm from New York City, I moved over
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Thank you.
I moved here to be with the wife, but as an infiltrator in San Antonio, let me just say it's quite rainy over here and quite sad. Everyone's
Oh,
really upset.
over
Yeah,
here,
I could
orange and blue
understand why. That's
skies.
a wait. So
Orange
you
and
you
blue
live there? You live
skies.
there now?
I live here now, yeah.
Okay.
And might I say, very hilarious to see because we're very close to where they were playing last night. So we heard a lot of noise during the game, and then afterwards, like 30 minutes later, dead silent. Maybe a few like EMT trucks or whatever, maybe some fire trucks here
That's
and there,
great.
please, whatever, but nothing. Just no
Well-
joy whatsoever. So
Orange and blue skies over here in New York. Orange and blue skies.
yeah, that's basically me.
Okay, so I mean, we got two people who basically went to the end zone and scored and won the Super Bowl, and I'm still trying to get to the playoffs. That's what's happening, basically.
Who have you drafted? That's the
Well,
first point.
the thing is, the way my bank account works
Okay.
and my draft system
I
works,
understand. I'm not.
I need to
saying-
run a OS because you know about computers a lot. So I need to run an OS update,
Mhm.
you know, so that we can like have some better storage and RAM, work a little more efficiently, and then I think we'll be good to go. But yeah, being a little less broke and having a job will be a good start to that. Which is finally has occurred after sending over 1,800 applications this year
God damn.
and over 75 interviews.
I'm curious.
So-
Has that been all manually, or have you?
I did not use AI to do the
Okay.
sending. For all.
Okay.
I used ChatGPT to make individual resumes for every application.
As you
So I
should,
have
because
like well over
doing it
1,000.
manually for every single application is
Right,
a
that's crazy. Right,
Yes.
but that means I have like well over 1,000 resumes.
Yeah.
So I gave everything, yes, some AI assisted, but ultimately the most personalized application I could, and they all said, yeah, also fuck you, and but thanks, and 1,800 times. So that was nice. But anyway, I'm gonna thankfully start some work, and maybe this will be less of the All Things Broke network and more towards the Brolic network, which is where we want to get to. So I thank you all who have been here since day one. The struggle, the strife, my Verizon connection, FBI Jim infiltrating our
They got
work,
my boy.
getting me. But anyways,
Did they get my boy?
They got him again.
They got my boy.
As soon as he's about to start, anyway.
They got my boy.
Oh,
FBI Jim.
well, you
I was gonna
fuck,
ask-
that's what I pay for, a stable internet connection. How the hell am I supposed to know?
They got my boy.
I'm telling you, FBI Jim is listening.
Evan, when we start doing merch, we need to have a shirt that says "They got my boy."
Wait,
Yes.
why are you not
When we
doing merch
finally
yet?
get
Hmm?
when we finally get an income from this, we're gonna make merch, and that'll be one of them.
Okay.
Number
They got my boy.
shit, it froze again. I can't stand these fuckers. Why do I pay a bill? I mean, I pay it late, but I pay it, and part of the reason I pay it late, aside from being broke, is because there's service like this.
Oh man, we should start now before they get you again.
So anyway, regardless, pay us, donate and shit, so that we have easier time. Because I'll tell you who doesn't have bad connection when he posts shit: Andrew Tate. So
he should be in
because
jail.
if you ever
He
want to
should be in jail.
compete, we need the resources. So we all looked at the expose, not so much an expose, but I think just more detailed reporting on Andrew Tate, sort of this empire that he and his brother Tristan have created. Obviously, sometimes I call this like Manosphere Today, Manosphere Weekly. The Manosphere can be many things, but I think there is something quite singular about Andrew Tate's presence within what we call Red Pill, Manosphere, men's rights, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
There is sort of this singular viciousness and anger that I think help normalize other people to then join, the whatever you want to call it, the Red Pill Voltron motherfuckers, um, to be able to like put together all this hate and sexism and have it normalized. Um, but what is like what are your initial experiences with Andrew Tate and his messaging and what you think that it means?
Hey, do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So I initially saw Andrew Tate when I was researching Manosphere stuff, and this was like 2020,
Yeah.
2021, right? The initial thought for Andrew Tate was like, uh, this guy's ridiculous, doesn't know what he's talking about. Um, but that's all coming from, I guess, my general experiences in life and experiences with women in like period. So coming from a family that I grew up with like mostly women and everything, it was basically taught to me how to like treat women from a very very young age because that's what I was surrounded by, and then having my dad who I guess wasn't abusive and didn't do any like negative things to my mom. He also was there to teach me how to properly like talk to women and not just women, just people in general. So hearing Andrew Tate talk about all this stuff, my immediate response was, this guy's an idiot. But then seeing all the following behind him, I was like, okay, why are all these people following him? And I see the messaging, even if I don't like endorse it. I see it. Like what he's doing is unfortunately really smart because he's tailoring it in a way where men that feel alone and feel like no one's listening to them because of whatever movements you want to use can't have a voice to like speak out and talk about all this stuff. So that was my initial thought process behind it. I didn't dive more into it until much later. But that was my initial experience.
Well, thank you for sharing. It's great you had those examples. A lot of men do not. Did you know him when he was also a UFC fighter, or just
Yes.
after when he started doing this? Because it's important to note he's not just a random guy. He had a
Well, no.
career
Yeah,
in a
absolutely.
So, like the platform he had previously. Did you watch him, Olivier, when he was in UFC?
No, I didn't see him as a UFC fighter ever. Or if I did it probably by accident. If I recall, excuse me, as a UFC fighter, he has a pretty good record. A lot more wins than losses. I think maybe like 2 losses. I could look it up real quick, but I don't want to do that. I don't want my algorithm to be messed up. But um, but yeah, it was. I would say after he became more social media famous online, that's when I did some research on him, and I was like, oh, he did UFC. I think he did UFC. I think he was like a boxer or some sort of kickboxing champion, something like that.
Yeah, so he already had a platform, much like Joe Rogan, who the platform like exploded and became so much more. But Joe Rogan was already a comedian. He already did Fear Factor, an actor. Like it, platform springboard to newer platforms. So it is worthy of note that while a lot of these other guys I think were more unknowns, like HS Tiki Taki, still
Justin
quite a name to
Wheeler,
say for a grown ass human. Um, and what's the other?
Sneeko.
Myron Sneeko, Myron Gaines,
Yeah,
who apparently
those.
was in the State Department, but that's not like famous. He had a career, but like Andrew Tate, because a lot of people didn't know him as a UFC fighter, even if that platform helped him get there. Ultimately, he basically said, you can make a career off this ideology, being so counter to any progress we've made with sexism and misogyny, that there's a huge base of disgruntled, especially younger men, who feel they have nowhere to go and are just ripe for the picking to be hating on women and easily convinced. And then he made apparently, as some of these other guys did, sort of this like school of sorts that teaches
Yeah,
men how to be men, but also like finances.
yeah, like how to make money and stuff like that. A whole
Yeah,
yeah,
but then also you get commissions for making clips of him. So like you're working for him kind of, and his messaging, and if he proliferates, reconnecting. Mm-hmm.
they got my boy.
Okay. Yes. Make sure. I love how it says make sure you have a stable connection. Like I can do anything. Yes.
But are you making sure though?
Sure. Where is a stable connection in the room with us?
Is it stable connection or is the connection stable? Ooh.
Is it hiding?
Olivier, what?
Sorry.
Ooh.
I this morning I woke up and chose unstable connection. I'm sorry. I didn't like the fuck. It's their role to always make it a stable connection, not like 1/3 of the time. Anyway, so he has this business model, profiting. So misogyny now is like a profit center. Um, but we I think just like Trump, we kind of make the monster. It's like you said, AJ. It's like why is this guy so popular? It's not just who he is. It's like, but what made him popular? So I have my theories. Well,
Ooh.
what are your theories between
Ooh.
uh, both of you about why Andrew Tate is so popular, especially among, let's say younger men between, adolescence and 20s?
Ah, shoot. I'm gonna take a swing at this. So my theory is that, like I think I said this before, right? Stats doesn't matter to the individual, right? It doesn't matter the fact that X amount of men get married, X amount of men go through abuse, X amount of men go through this divorce, whatever it is. That doesn't matter. What matters is the emotion. What do people feel about whatever that thing is? And I think a lot of men have been hurt by women, again, intentionally or intentionally, right? Like, for example, you guys saw the movie 500 Days of Summer, right? That,
It's on my, I know it's on my long list of things I'm supposed to watch. Yes.
okay. Well, in 500 Days of Summer, to give you, to ruin the ending to you, sorry, they break up, right? And a lot of men feel and relate to the guy. They're like, oh, I was wronged by a woman the same way he was, right? But in the movie, she literally said, I don't want a relationship multiple times. I don't want a relationship. I don't want to do this thing with you. Right. But it just happened. But because the guy was in his own fantasies, whatever. I think that's one. I think another part of it is branding and media of like this is what it is to be a man. I think Andrew Tate was lucky enough the fact that he came at the time after the Me Too movement, after this whole entire women empowerment thing. Nothing wrong with that, right? But I do remember in high school when it was happening, I remember thinking to myself, I was like, a lot of boys are going to feel behind, even though technically they're ahead. They're going to feel behind, right? And if you feel behind, you get angry about something. When you get angry about something, you want to do something about it. So my theory is that Andrew Tate came at the perfect time of being this guy who happened to be a UFC fighter, right? He already had a platform of some kind. He is successful. He has money. He is the stereotypical macho man of being successful, right? The stereotypical of I get all the girls, I have the nice cars, I have the mansions, I smoke expensive cigars, and I wear fancy clothes, and I hang out with celebrities, right? I think that package was what he portrayed to all these boys and all these young men, being like, you could do what I do. And like I said before in the podcast, we oftentimes look up to people and the stratosphere, whatever it is, of their story, not understand the fact that we don't have the same situation. We don't have the same circumstances. Donald Trump was born a millionaire. His daddy had money. Okay. Andrew Tate, I think he's 6'2", 6'1", right? Very tall, very athletic. I'm not taking his work ethic. I'm not taking that away. But if you are, but if you, unfortunately, let's say that you're paraplegic and become Andrew Tate's UFC fighter, probably not going to happen. Not saying it can't happen at all, right? But you probably won't be at the same level as Andrew Tate, right? Or another aspect of, I don't know how much money Andrew Tate came from. I think his dad is from the military or the army, right? Even just that by itself, you have a father who knows how to do combat. If you don't have a parent who knows how to do combat from an early age, you may not catch up to the same way as he can. So there's multiple layers to it.
Yeah,
So
having an athletic parent, like just look at the Knicks. When you hear about many of their, it's not that they were born rich, but many of them had a parent who was very involved,
mhm,
one, and very athletic.
yeah,
I mean, obviously Brunson's father was a Knick at one point,
yep,
so he has a different upbringing. It doesn't athletes, especially people who weren't like big stars, didn't make as much, nearly as much as they do now.
yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily lower middle class, but it certainly was not extremely rich.
But
But it was
also,
all discipline.
but I mean, yeah, discipline. But also, I'd argue to the fact that, like, again, there's this thing of where I would say I call it like they could talk about generational wealth. I call it generational access, right?
Yes.
Rick Brunson's right because he was in the NBA and he was a Nick, right? Jalen Brunson, Stephen Curry, many other NBA players. You all are around that. You have access to. You already see these players, right? Kids naturally absorb things when they're around that environment, whatever environment they're in. Andrew Tate, at least based on the article, was surrounded by a
Right.
father who was very violent and knew how to do combat. So he knew how to do combat from a young
Right.
age, right? My daughter, we go to my martial arts school every Saturday. I'm not saying she's a violent child, but however, she has been punching more often. Is that the reason? I don't know. Could be, right? But I won't be surprised if she grows up, become a decent martial artist compared to when I was her age, whatever age that is.
Yeah. I mean, self defense is important. So like, just the mere sheer presence. But if there's violence in the home, the kids are going to absorb that
Yeah.
like nothing. But my question is this, because there have always been guys that are kind of misogynistic. There have always been guys that got women in cars and flashed. I mean, just think of any Nelly music video that we grew up on. Like, think of just most music videos we grew up watching. Okay, like, I'm not saying there wasn't misogyny there and sexism, and of course, it has been long discussed, including by your favorite rapper J. Cole himself, about lyrics and its relation to sexism and misogyny. But there wasn't this kind of like ideology. It was like, yeah, this is just being a product of the messages that I grew up hearing and saying it in a song. It wasn't like the whole like structured anti-woman ideology. That is a little new to me. And that also, I think, says the business model is like, because it's like almost teachable. I think it's different now. It's not just he gets the girls and the cars. It's that he's kind of saying like, even though I'm an asshole, I'll also kind of like teach you and be an example for you, and like path to get to this. So to me, it's like a little different now when there's a whole ideology behind it.
I think the differences between this is a music video. There are going to be women who are dressed provocatively, and the men are seen as the people that get all these women versus what you were saying, the whole misogynistic bit. There is a difference there. However, when you don't have enough, never mind. Never
They
mind.
got my boy. Look at my boy. Just look how they got my
I was going on
boy.
to a point. I had a point. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to say something profound,
You
maybe."
you were cooking, bro. You were cooking. This is the part of the podcast where we have to keep going until FBI Jim lets Evan come back.
It
Because
doesn't have
they
to be this
got
way.
my
There are other
boy.
options for you.
They got my boy.
Yeah,
Look at
well,
him.
your
Look
boy,
how
the
they
return,
massacred my
return
boy.
of the boy, return of the boy. But it cut off, at least for me, when you said you're breaking down the difference between any level of misogyny in
Yeah,
a music video versus
I'll start.
what
I'll start
Andrew
over.
Tate is
Yeah,
kind of like.
yeah. I'll start over. Basically, there's a difference between this is the music video, and the rapper has a lot of women, cars, money, and then the other side where it's like complete misogyny. Women are stupid. Women are dumb. Blah blah blah. Women should be under men in whatever sort of way you want to talk about it. However, it is hard to see that difference when you um, are not educated enough in the nuance between the two. Because with rappers, and I'm sure a lot of them have said this before, they speak about what they know, right, in their general environment, in their society, or wherever they live. So to them, they may not think that women are beneath them, but around them, all they might see is like money is super important, having a lot of women is super important, having a lot of cars is super important. Someone that is not well versed in either rap or don't may not even know what misogyny is will have a hard time differentiating that between what Andrew Tate is saying. So I think that is one key element behind it too, is that people just don't know the difference. And then on top of what you guys were already saying, which is he is hiding this misogyny underneath. I'm a UFC fighter. I've won four times. He's won 4 UFC championships. I don't know if they're in a row or not, but he won 4 championships. He is physically doing very well for himself. He has all this other stuff. Listen to me, but also, you know, this is how you can take advantage of women. So I think there is a correlation to be had. Not correlation, sorry, wrong word. I think there's some research that I can probably do on the terms of like people that really understand what misogyny truly is and the whole rap industry. But I think that might also be a benefactor for why he got so popular is because people are hearing this from their rappers, but then they're also seeing someone called like Andrew Tate living this lifestyle, wanting to be him. And then the third thing I was going to add on top of that is that I also think that by people I mean young men who are trying to look up to somebody that has the things that they want, is a very powerful thing because, you know, everyone looks up to somebody, especially when they're young, of wanting to like have the things that they have. So you're gonna like do or copy exactly what that person does. Like kids do it all the time, right? Kids copy adults all the time. So
Yeah, that's an important thing, the nuance here. And you can say the same thing also about homophobia. Like what what does the passing listener get from these messages? That does matter. Because not everyone is going to do deep dives. Everyone is going to, like you said, look at nuance between kind of also what sells with, because it's also a business. Now Andrew Tate's is a business too, but there's there I think it's also important, like, we're men. If we were a woman, it may have a different Tate, might be more literal and sounds more intentional even. Me being thrown, women don't mind. It's like the same, contrary to what schematic says about the female nature. But here we go.
Did they get my boy? Did they? Did they get my boy? Did they get
Olivia,
my
I think
boy?
I think the last 10 minutes you've said nothing but got my boy.
It only happens with this. It doesn't happen with
They got my boy.
You said nothing else. Every single like 10 minutes straight. you say nothing. You're like, they got my boy.
They got my boy. Yo, I might just put on like a Minion costume and be like, my boy.
Just make the shirt. I'll wear the shirt.
They got my boy. Look,
I'll
they
wear the
got
shirt.
my boy.
all right, boy back
Look at
in
me
town.
right here. They
Um,
got my boy. I'll wear it.
So yes, what I was saying is that I just want to be thoughtful, kind of that I'm not gay. I mean, you know, we're straight men, and we're not women, and therefore, certain messages might
Therefore.
kind of be easier for us to suspend our personal views, because we're not at the other end of the diss, of the objectification. So straight men generally, I mean, straight men will be talked about being killed, certainly, in songs, but when it comes to like sexual objectification or homophobia, we're not at the other end of that in most music. So to your point, I do think that we have to think about how, you know, because when I hear people like say like they miss the old days when music wasn't censored as much, it's like, look, I get it. We all grew up with I Believe I Can Fly and Thought We Can Fly, and that was our graduation song, for at least for most of us around here. Look, I get it. Okay? But certain things are about making more people feel accepted. And in general, I don't think that's a bad thing. And if it means maybe we shouldn't call gay people the F word in songs, you know, I don't really care which rapper said it. I think there's ways to just not say it, and I don't think it's a big deal. And I definitely don't think Andrew Tate should be. I mean, the way that Red Pill at gay is this whole other thing that we were getting into, which doesn't even make any damn sense. But there's always kind of been this fear of the masculine and its proximity to too feminine, being gay, and especially because it's both Pride Month and Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, which I wanted to say earlier. I do think these things are interesting to put together, because homophobia has been, and not being too feminine has been a part of male discourse in the US and globally for a very long time. That part's not new.
I one thing I what I want to say is like, yeah, the discourse of not being feminine or not being girly or not being a woman has always been there, but I would argue that the definition has definitely changed over the past 100 years as to what it means to not be a woman, not be feminine. Because I know like some of the manosphere guys like to use like ancient Romans and ancient Greeks. Be like, we got to be soldiers, we got to be strong, this and the third. And if I remember correctly, if my history serves me correctly, Spartans are considered to be one of the greatest warriors in history. Spartans knew how to dance. Why? Because excuse me, their theory was that if you had to dance, you could be nimble. If you could be nimble, you could move better on the battlefield. In today's manosphere definition, dancing is feminine thing or a quote unquote gay thing to do. So I think what their definition is just whatever they think is whatever is just not girly is manly automatically. But then if you take the context of almost anywhere in history, technically men have done girly things or womanly things or feminine things because we're human beings. It is a whole aspect of you as a person. And when you deny part of yourself of that aspect, you don't even know who the hell you are. So I think a lot of these young boys, young men, one, they don't know who they are. They don't. So they just copy someone, as to AJ's point, they just copy someone to hopefully be that person. I'm not saying that one, your situation with the person is completely different. Two, the context of what they're talking about also different. Three, you don't even know who you are, so how can you express who you are without having getting that experience, whatever it is? There, I would bet you money there's some sort of like manosphere dude out there. I know I saw one that said like if you let your woman drive, you're not a real man. It's too much. All right, knock on wood. Knock on wood. Somehow I get into an accident. I'm no longer physically able to drive. So if my wife drives me, I'm now no longer a man. That makes no sense. Like guys, like you make all these rules and requirements for yourselves that restrict you so much, you get angry, upset, you can't express yourself. So we see someone else who can freely express themselves, right? You get jealous and mad at them, and you're like, they're they're just gay, or they're just acting like a woman. Nah, my man, you are actually jealous that someone else can freely express themselves. They have the vocabulary to do it, and they have the freedom to do so from themselves, not from someone else. All right. In my opinion, a real man is a real man if he knows he's a real man. That's it.
It's really funny you used the Spartans as an example in
Am I?
terms of.
Oh, being manly.
No, I'm only saying it because in ancient Spartan like military, there is a lot of cases for homosexuality in the military. Like I think there was something called a secret band of thieves that specifically did homoerotic acts so that there would be better cohesion on the battlefield when they fought people and more
So what?
bravery.
So what you're trying to tell me is that some of the world's strongest and most fearsome warriors in history
Mhm.
got down and dirty to have a better bond for friendship.
Yeah,
Most of them
yeah,
Greek motherfuckers were bisexual back in the day.
for sure.
Like it
Like
is
you
well
was still
known.
you still
They
had
were
to
playing
like
both teams.
you still had to produce with like women and have heterosexual relationships. That was still a thing,
Yeah,
but there was a
that was
clear
yeah,
distinction
both.
of like, hey, what happens on the battlefield stays on the battlefield, man. Don't worry about it. We
Don't
gonna do
ask,
what we
don't
do over
tell.
here.
Got
Don't
you.
ask, don't tell,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone understood.
But there was a comedian who was like, "I would love a gay person on the battlefield. Who will protect me better?" He's like saying, "Protect that fine ass." Like, come on now.
Hey,
No,
I used to tell my
but
friends, I used to tell my friends who get upset when like, hey, like a gay man hit on me. I'm like, what's the problem? What do you mean? Like they hit on me. I'm like, let's hold on, let's think about it for a second, right? What do gay men like? They're like, men. All right, cool. Theoretically speaking, what do straight women like? Men. So if a gay man hits on you, that means theoretically speaking, there's some woman out there who would also think you're attractive. So instead of being
yeah,
upset, just say thank you. Move on with your
I
life.
had it back to back. This is like I don't know, within a week twice. Now, let me say, just like this is why I empathize with women. Just like with anybody, there's ways to do these things that are more aggressive and ways to do these things that are less aggressive. I don't mind even if it's a man, even if I'm not gay, as long as it's done like not aggressively. But to be fair, sometimes both gay and straight men can be on that time aggressively.
oh,
I
for
was
sure.
walking with my boy, and I thought this man was gonna hurt his neck because he was like this, and me and my boy are like, what the fuck was that? It was like, and he was like, I think he was looking at you. I'm like, is he looking at me like a fucking what's that bird that does that? There's like a bird.
I don't know.
I think they got him.
They can't keep getting away with this.
So tired of this. It's like I'm not moving. I'm in the same place. I'm literally by the window, and my router's right fucking here. Anyway, it now the upload speed is the problem. and now the upload went up to 86 instead of it being. Both of y'all have been at 99 this whole time, so your internet's fine. But I've been at like 46 most of the time, so now it's at 89. So hopefully it'll be better. Anyway, point is, men, if you have been on the receiving end of a gay man aggressively hitting on you, imagine how women feel. Like these are the parallels, right? Like that's how women. That's why I empathize a lot with women, because the few times it has happened, I didn't. Obviously it can be done very politely, sure, and there's no issue with that. But it, men in general just be aggressive sometimes with how they're like glaring at you, or like it's like, bro, let's just
I think
call a time out.
I think personally, a lot or the majority of men, or I would say I hope. I don't say I think. I hope the majority of men, in the words of my cousin, are coachable, right? Like like you have an issue, you got a problem, whatever it is, but like we can coach you into a better direction, right? And I think that there's kind of also like there's not a universal rule for or acceptance for how men are allowed to do certain things, or they don't know. So no one knows like what's socially okay, what's not okay. Because most men, let's be honest, most, at least in my opinion, most men just don't want to be that guy, right? They want to be that guy, but they don't want to be that guy. Okay, and the difference,
Right.
the difference being like they want to be that guy, the cool guy, the one that people like, they want to talk to, hang out with, right? They want to socialize with them. They don't want to be that guy, right? The one who is creepy and weird, um, R. Kelly's, right? Those P. Diddy's, those they don't want to be that guy. And I think that unfortunately, um, at least this is my opinion, I think that a lot of young boys, young men don't know or understand like, hey man, you can approach somebody, and then when you get
Right.
rejected, accept it. Or even, all right, I'll put it like this, right? If you hit on somebody, just you give your one liner, you do your shot, whatever it is, and the person seems confused, and you better mean this. You better fucking mean this. Don't say it and don't mean it, right? If you hit on someone, find them attractive, shoot your shot, and they don't know how to respond and it's quiet, whatever it is, you can tell that person, in my opinion, it's okay to say no. It's safe to say no. Don't say it's safe to say no and then somehow be upset and mad and be like, well, you're this. No, don't do that. If you
That's
shoot your
that's a
shot, that's it.
very mature response that I think is great in many cases, but that takes so many levels of
I know.
self-awareness and confidence, and I think generally we should also know how to judge people's kind of comfort. See, I actually will
That's,
push back that it's not. I agree with that guy,
yeah.
but I don't think it's that guy. I think the worst thing a man can be to a woman is rejected.
Yeah.
I don't think the worst thing is being the creepy guy, because I think some guys think whatever I got to do to impress these other men,
Because you're gay.
whatever I got to do, even if it's be creepy, if there's a 1% success rate, there's a 0.1% success rate. Let's do it. I don't think the creepy is the worst. I think rejection is the worst. Being the just a friend is the worst. And I always say, look, I know it sucks if you really like someone and they don't have romantic feelings for you, but there is no statute that says you must be in a friend zone. Okay, if you don't like the friend zone, leave. That's what I always tell dudes. If you don't like it, leave. No one is forcing you to be here. Be
But
honest with a woman and tell
but
her, I
but I
liked
like it
you.
here.
You don't like me.
But I like
Yes.
it here. I like the friend zone, right? Because she's pretty and she's nice to me and she talks to me and she gives me attention once in a
Speak up,
while.
young man.
But no,
Speak up, young man.
but but I like the
I don't know why
friend
I'm,
zone.
this is the mic. I don't know why I'm holding it up. The speakers are bad.
But but Evan, I like the friend zone because she's pretty and she gives me attention and and I was rejected a lot and she's the only one that actually gives me time other than my mother.
No,
And what
not good reasons.
what do you mean no?
You should have enough self-confidence that you will get meaningful interactions with other people and other women, and you shouldn't stay in something just because this is the only person. That's not a good reason at all. In fact, it actually puts too much weight on your interactions with her that she is the only one.
This might be a cop-out explanation, but I think another thing we have to consider is society's blaming most of this stuff. Specifically, not like the manosphere in general, but just society. I think in society we put too much pressure on people getting into relationships, romantic relationships per se, right? And not focusing at all, I guess, on the platonic ones. I have a lot of women friends that I genuinely consider them all of my friends. Would not think about dating them for whatever the reasons are, right? And that might just be because again of my upbringing, but I think because we focus so hard on the romantic part or the part of like getting into a like romantic relationship, because there's movies about it, TV shows about it. Like we grew up with multiple TV shows where it's like getting the girl is like the only thing. We grew up with movies where it's like going on dates with a person is like the ultimate thing. Being married is like one of the ultimate things, and that having a lot of women is cool. If we can just have a way where we can stop and go, hey, we don't need to have a romantic relationship to be fulfilled. You can just have friends. And at some point, you can still date. You can still do all that stuff. You don't have to stop dating. But at some point, you will find that person if you just focus more on relationships that can mean something that don't have to mean anything romantic. I think it would be a lot better. But again, this is America. I'm only speaking on like terms of like American society. I'm not speaking about any other society because I haven't lived there. But America does have that. You got to get married. You got to have a girlfriend. You got to have a boyfriend. You got to go on these dates. You got to go on Tinder. You got to go on Hinge. You got to go on Bumble. You got to have all these apps. You gotta present yourself in a way that is that helps you be attracted to the opposite sex or the same sex if you like swing that way. But you don't got to do all that. Sorry, I got really passionate.
I think it's no. I think it's important, but I also think we have to be honest with ourselves about when we're friends with someone. My cat is my child, and he is yelling.
Meow, meow,
even though I fed him 3 times today. That cat don't meow. That motherfucker yells at me. When people ask, "Is it a boy or girl?" I say it's a. I say, when people ask if it's a boy or girl, I say it's a grown ass man. That I still can't have for tax dependent purposes for some reason. I think it is important to have. Personally, I think it's important to have a few female friends that you can talk to, that you are fine. See, the problem is I only view a friendship the way you just described it, which is I am fine with the friendship at this level. I don't want it to be something else. That to me is platonic friendship. If it's constantly like going back and forth between liking friends, to me that's just as someone once put it, a psychologist. She said a lover in waiting. Like when the stars align, then we'll be together. That's not a friendship to me. That's something that you're waiting on. And that's why I think there's a lot of men who are disingenuous friends to women. And the right thing to do is to extricate yourself and have space. Don't stay. If you constantly want more with a woman than she is willing to give, but you're sticking around for the hope that you can just be a friend and there will be like, it's like a carousel and there'll just be an opening where you could just go on in there. That's not a real friend.
I agree. My rant was mostly discussing the idea of just platonic relationships. So if you feel like you like a person just too much, that you just can't be around them, then you just can't be around them. That's fine. And that sucks.
I like being around them.
I understand that.
And I want to be around them.
But then you can't constantly want more, is my point. If you've come to terms and you're at peace with it, okay, well, I was going to say, if you're at peace with it, that's fine. If not, then we have a problem.
Yeah, the problem is she doesn't want more like I do. That's the problem. Why can't you see that I'm the right guy?
Wow, you're so selfish.
So have space.
What do you mean
Have
I'm self?
space.
I'm trying to show that I'm the right guy because what?
Being selfish is not a bad thing. I'm only talking like you are selfish, and that's fine. Every human being in the world is selfish. Everyone wants something.
Hmm.
It just depends on
Yeah.
how you like. It's how
This
you
is
interact with that selfishness that makes it okay or not okay. Same thing
right.
with Andrew Tate.
That's a
Andrew
good point.
Tate wanted to go out there and just take because he believed that women were supposed to act and think a specific way, and he took what he wanted. All those points in the article that we read, where he sexually assaulted the woman, he just took, right, and that's
Yeah.
like that's generally like the extreme of that you can go to. But even if it's not as extreme as Andrew Tate, it's still not the correct response, right? Like you can want to be with a friend and want to be more than that, but if they don't want it, you gotta respect that. That's the only logical conclusion to make everything seem generally okay. And if you can't respect that, then don't be that person's friend. That's
Right.
it.
I think that like you can't be friends with someone on different terms. Like if one person sees the friend, whoa, uh-oh, now we lost our boy. Can we
Lost
can
our-
we not lose somebody?
You finally got to say it. He's been saying it every single time.
Now we gotta wait.
That's okay. I'll wait.
We gotta get him back. What do you want?
Jim,
Mr. Ransom.
please.
There he is.
Yeah.
He's back.
He got to say it, Olivia. He got to say it.
I got to say they got our boy because they did. Whoever they are. But
FBI Jim's doing a great job today.
But yeah, I do think that you can't have constantly different motives. And the other thing I want to be fair with is like if you really like someone, most of, at least for me, it's not like I can just turn a switch off. Like I was so into you, I thought you might be a great partner, perhaps at my age, even someone I am in a serious relationship with, who then can become engaged, and then oh, you just want to be friends? Okay, let me just reprogram myself and turn the switch off, and now I'll just be your platonic friend after having an entirely different interest 5 hours ago. No, that's not how it works, and anyone that says that is lying. Okay, the only way I think that can work is if it was entirely a physical interest and not more than just physical attraction. Maybe deep levels, like if it's just you think the person's fine and you want to like be a friends with benefits and they say no.
Then they say no.
Or are we playing fucking musical chairs? Playing musical chairs with internet connections?
I'm just waiting for my internet to go off. I'm just
Not
waiting.
funny, FBI Jim.
The reason why yours won't go out, AJ, is because San Antonio.
Yeah,
just
you're the
lost,
last one.
right?
Oh, it's because everyone's sad about San Antonio.
Exactly. Listen, the area, it's very depressing as it is. We don't
Oh
want to
my
keep that.
god.
They got my boy.
Oh shit, that boy.
They got my boy.
Anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, I think that we value, like, I think the way I put it is that men are putting too much as a referendum on their masculinity. And that's also how Andrew Tate and the Manosphere frame things for men. It's not just a rejection. It's she's rejecting your masculinity. She's rejecting you as an alpha. She's rejecting you. She's throwing you as a beta.
Can I?
It's like it's all these added layers. It's not like what I thought masculinity was earlier, that I think we kind of went in a weird backwards direction, which is that's life. You brush it off, you keep going. Like that's not the manosphere is very whiny. That's the thing that always got me. It's like there is nothing masculine about whining this much.
I
There
agree with
is
you.
a
Sorry.
perfect, yeah,
You
it's
know, no.
perfectly fine to deconstruct things and talk about like where it's unfair, where we have unfair expectations as men, but not with whining to the point of like and therefore I need revenge or some bullshit.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, right? Again, there's the, at least to me, there's like the textbook definition and then like the emotional aspect to it. And just like with stats and numbers, doesn't matter to the individual. I think this is just my theory, is that the way Andrew Tate and the other Manosphere guys present information, I think the way the young men, young boys take it in, their masculinity, that is their identity. That is their personhood. That is them being human. Not seeing or the fact, again, there are multiple aspects to you. There are multiple things to you. If you just stick to three ideas or two ideas or just one idea of you, and someone attacks that thing, you feel like as if, hey, you are challenging me as a human being, right? You're forcing me to change who I am. I worked on myself to be who I am. I worked on myself to get to this level, right? So I think the messaging is like, hey guys, they're attacking your masculinity. I think the way the boys are receiving is like they're attacking me as a person. They're attacking me as an individual. They don't know what I've been through. They don't know what struggles I had to overcome on a daily basis, which is true, right? No one knows. But at the same time, though, I would say that there are healthier ways and much better ways to express those things. Am I a perfect example? Hell no. Hell the frick no, right? But at least for me, I know the fact that I'm a multifaceted human being. Okay, I'm not just one thing. Yes, I'm a Knicks fan. Yes, I'm a husband. Yes, I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm also someone's best friend, right? I'm a teacher. I'm a mentor to. I had those eight things that I identify with, right? Martial artist, boom, nine. Video game, 10, right? 10 things I can identify with. Me personally, that allows me to express myself to as much as I can, right? There's other stuff, arts and video, whatever, right? But what I'm saying, at least for me as a person, like I don't just stick to just one identity and be like, and someone attacks me like, "You're a Knicks fan? Well, they suck." No, that's your opinion. I'm gonna go do video games now. I'm gonna go hang out with my kid. I'm gonna do something else to make myself feel all right. Am I talking any sense? I hope. I
I
hope
want
so.
I want to push
No,
back on that.
but
Oh,
right.
sorry, no, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I'm just gonna push back on that and say that again, what Evan was saying earlier is that is a very mature take on it. Even if you are 10 different things, those are still a part of you, and people are very prideful, um, especially men that haven't gone through that emotional journey like you possibly have. So when you attack that one thing, you are attacking them. That's why when Spurs were in New York City, or like when the Spurs fans wore Spurs stuff in New York City, they got attacked
Yeah,
because like, how dare you, go against
yeah.
this part of me, even if I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not. I'm not saying you said it was easy,
Oh no. Oh no. It's
but
tough. No, it's
but
tough.
I think they latch themselves onto the fact that it's not easy to get rid of that pride. I suppose. Like, if it's okay, I want to read something from this article that Tate said.
Yep.
It says that, quoting, he insisted that depression isn't real, and told sufferers to stop complaining and start working out. For young men feeling dejected by the public conversation about toxic masculinity, the reason feminists think men are losers is because the only men that bother to interact with feminists are losers. Like, he posted that. So that pride that most men feel, being called a loser, hurts that pride, and you're gonna listen to the guy that has all the money and all the women and all the stuff.
I listen. I completely agree with you with what you're saying. I think I think my advice to the young men out there, you need to figure out for your own definition what is a winner and what is a loser. And they got my boy.
We were having a good conversation.
We are this was FBI Jim knew they're like nah, they're like Olivier's thinking.
Is Jim like a conservative?
No, FBI Jim's the guy we made up. We just made him up.
I know you made him up,
FBI.
but like, is it conservative that you made up?
No. You know what? Let's ask Evan. What do you think FBI Jim is like as an individual? Because AJ is asking, do we think he's conservative?
FBI Jim, if you're with us, give us a sign.
I mean,
You've already given us other kinds of signs, but
the amount of like energy I had to pull back to not leave immediately, press the exit button. Oh gosh. Okay, sorry.
But the thing, so the thing with red pill and all of this is that there are grains of truth here. So what I said earlier today in the live I did with my friend who also has masculinity spaces is that the rhetoric is ahead of the practice, meaning that the things we say for men and want between men and women are great mostly, like the better things, like parity, equality, complementary, both being emotionally available, both being attentive to each other's needs, both being involved in the household work and in the labor force, both being nurturing figures, you name it. That doesn't mean this is theory though. And like, I forgot who said it. I forgot which of I asked you this before. I forgot which civil rights leader said it, but like, theory's great, but you need practice.
Shoot, and the
truth is that many men are seeing, and I believe it. I see it every day. I know men. I grew up around men. I grew up in this world, and I constantly see dissonance between the theory of what men should be and the practice of what is accepted and valued. So what Andrew Tate is saying is a really stupid way of saying something. But where the grain of truth is that just because people say they want men to be a certain way doesn't mean those are the men that they will honestly go out and date and commit to. I do think these things are incongruent. It doesn't mean we haven't evolved, and I think there are men now who have a form of masculinity that probably didn't really exist years ago, decades ago, because we didn't have the vocabulary for it. But that doesn't mean that there aren't many traits. Most, like, when you look and sound, when you do the Andrew Tate shit, it's so blatant that everyone's gonna know you're a misogynist. But there's such a thing as benevolent patriarchy, which is a little different. Benevolent patriarchy is like, I'm making these decisions and I'm kind of putting you in your place, belittling you, but it's for your own good. And that's kind of more the common patriarchy that a lot of us grew up with and heard. It's like, I love your insert woman here. I love this, and that is why I'm doing this. Or say horrible things, do horrible things, and then the next day, I love you. As Bell Hooks said, love and abuse can't coexist in a home, but most of us have grown up in some way, shape, or form with love and abuse of some kind coexisting. If it's not in the home, it's outside, it's seeing examples. So men still are getting very confusing examples about what is actually going to be something that leads to them having, yes, a meaningful romantic relationship with a woman. And I agree, friendships are important, but we're all kidding ourselves if we don't think one of the most beautiful gifts of life, romance and intimacy with a woman that we're interested in, and reciprocity is not a reward. It absolutely is. It's one of the greatest rewards in life. So I don't think the answers to like blame women and like belittle them and insult their intelligence the way Andrew Tate does. What I do think we should say is men do get confusing messages about, and many times conflicting messages about what they should be and what is actually accepted within acceptable, attractive masculinity.
I don't like the idea of benevolent patriarchy.
It exists. It's a
Wait.
thing, man.
No,
Sorry.
I
don't know why you're a little lower.
Oh, because I was far away. I don't like the idea of benevolent patriarchy. It's my first time hearing it, so I'm sure I know it exists. Like how you're describing it, I know it exists, but that feels conniving in a way,
manipulative.
Yep.
Convenient for the person in charge or in power.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like Bell. AJ, have you have read any of Bell Hooks' writings?
No.
I highly recommend every man read at least The Will to Change by Bell Hooks, because it's a great book about masculinity and gender dynamics with a lot of love for men, in addition to a lot of criticism of men, but being fair to where I think women can be involved in patriarchy.
Yeah, girl, tell him. Yeah, girl, tell him.
We're getting reviews.
Tell him, girl. Tell him.
She's like, I read it.
I read that.
But I do think that in practice, men can feel like they're trying to be better, and there's no such thing as like you should try to be better. First of all, while I believe all these things are beautiful rewards in life, the reason you should try to be better to women and to everyone is because you think it's the right thing to do. Like, you should have convictions and backbone that is irrespective of what a woman says, another man says, whomever. You should just believe the right thing to do is treat women with decency. Period. You should just believe that. But the truth of the matter is, with reality, is that men are going to observe the men around them. They'll observe who's dating who is the type of man they want to be. And like you said, like this started out with, Andrew Tate is flashing you the cars. He's flashing you, and men before him have done it. He has a wildly angry. So boys have wanted to be these men because of these markers of success, some of which are superficial, like a million women and all this. But some of it, I think at its core, men don't really want to admit. A lot of men do that. For lack of a better term, a lot of men do want to cuddle. They may not say they want to just cuddle.
I love cuddles.
Cuddling's nice.
Cuddling is so nice.
Cuddling is fantastic.
Oh man.
Not just cheek clapping moments.
Listen,
a lot of men.
If my wife said we're gonna cuddle right now, I'm leaving this podcast. On the spot. Hey, yo, I'm sorry, Evan. You opened a trigger word for me, brother. I'm sorry. You said a trigger word for me.
Not just cheek clapping.
Caressing.
Correct. Ooh. Do you like when your head is on the thighs and they just rubbing your head, being like, "Ooh, you my big strong man. You do such a good job. You protector. You a provider.
FBI
you a good looking. Ooh,
don't intervene. This is
you
we're dropping bars. Dylon spitting fire.
Right.
Dylon.
Oh,
I get the reference, but anyway.
As a also. Sorry. Yep. No, I want you to finish because you spitting facts.
But no, I'm just saying that men. It's not while many men won't admit it. It's not just about sex. A lot of men are jealous of men who find intimacy with women, and they do yearn it. You're never gonna hear it, but it's like that meme where you ever seen the meme where it's like your boy with his girl when no one's watching, and it's like he's like in a little ball and she's holding him, and like yes, and your point is.
And they always ask you, like, who got you over there looking smiling like that, huh? Who got you smiling like that?
Yeah. When you're like who got you? Who got you looking like that? Like that's we should be happy for our boys when they find a woman that's gay.
It is. No,
You
wait.
would rather be
Theoretically,
all hard with another dude at a strip club than cuddling with an actual person who owns a vagina? Really? That's where we're at now?
well, why can't my boy cuddle with me and be happy with me? Have you seen the amount of men being mad or upset that Jalen Brunson got married to a woman and literally texting and messages being like, "Why wasn't it me?"
Wait, who? I'm sorry. They're mad. Who's
Sorry.
married to a woman?
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson, the captain of the New York Knicks, the MVP
Oh no, that
Finals.
was hilarious.
It is
that
hilarious,
was funny. Like,
but
they're joking, but it's so funny.
But it's also a real thing. There are a lot of men who are like, "Oh, look at that lady. You got my boy all happy and shit. So, well, you got him like, okay, why is it not me?" But they don't know how to express
But
it.
honestly, I like it. I think it shows a side of men that we need to accept more, which is this playfulness that is not in these bounds constricted by I might be gay. This might sound gay. There's this homophobia like in like a rubber band, just like winding you up and not letting you move and just be.
So we should be like Spartans and the Greeks. What happened
Anyway,
on the battlefield?
AJ, I know
stays
you
on
want
the
to say
battlefield.
something. I'm done.
I forgot what I was going to say, but I want to say something else. Guys, I really want
I'm sorry.
to one day make a pillow fort. It's my dream, and I'm going to do it.
To what?
Let's make a pillow fort.
brother,
Okay.
brother.
Uh-huh.
With your wife?
It's amazing.
With my wife, of course. If she's not here, I'll still make it.
I,
But she'll probably
Okay.
be mad at me that I did it without
Okay.
having her be here to enjoy the pillow fort. But the reason why I'm saying that is just to add on top of what you were already saying, which is not having society confine you into what they think a man should be. Especially as a black man in society. Okay, black men in society, according to them, have to act a specific way. Otherwise, you're not a man or black. That's like two prongs, and it's ridiculous. So, I mean, me personally, I also struggled a little bit with like finding out how I need to be like masculine from like my relationship in general because of how I was raised and because of other societal norms. But going out and just doing the things that I want to do just because I want to do it, it's fun. Screw it, I don't care. It is a lot more freeing when you have that mindset. But like the societal mindset is still there, right? Like there was a time when I was like researching all the red pill stuff, because I was curious about why people follow this completely ridiculous rhetoric. And what you were saying earlier about there's like grains of truth to red pill spaces, they take it to the nth degree, which is unfortunate. But there was a point where, because I was researching it so much, because I was incorporating it into my daily like research in my life so much, that I started feeling less of a man because of what I started believing masculinity should be, right? Because I'm not red pill at all. And even not being red pilled, I started like seeing myself going, oh, I guess I'm not that much of a man according to society because I do this or I do that, or I feel, um, I feel as though my masculinity is not taken as well by women. Whatever. This is stuff that I had to like handle and deal with. And then someone was like, yeah, no, I remember exactly what it was. It was I went to someone's wedding, right? And so I stayed in a hotel with me and like three other people. There's like two girls and one other guy. We're all friends, and so one of them, the guy specifically goes, um, "Wow, you're really stuck on your masculinity, aren't you?" And it threw me back for a little bit because I thought that was just something that like every man thought about is like their masculinity, but that only came up because I was so worried about how I was acting as a man in that moment. I guess my point is that I can see how Andrew Tate got so many followers, right? Even someone as like me who grew up the way I grew up, who didn't believe in this stuff that Andrew Tate believes in because it's too radical, too crazy, still had a part of me go, I guess I'm not like as masculine as I need to be. You know, it hit me really hard when he said, "Well, you're really worried about masculine stuff." And I was like, "Damn, I'm changing into the person that I said I wasn't going to change into."
Um, I'm gonna. So one thing, right? I think what I said before, and I think I stand by it. Right? For every young man or anyone who listens to the podcast, you need to figure out for yourself your own definitive definition. And Miles Davis said this, right? It takes a long time before you get to find your own voice. I think you need to figure out what is a winner and what is a loser in your own definition, right? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I work out, right? When I go to the gym, me personally, it's just me. When I go to the gym, I don't look at the guys or the women who are all built and strong and buff. I don't see them as winners, right? The reason why I say that is because you've already kind of maxed out your potential. The people who are physically unfit, the elderly, right? Those people working out, technically speaking, are working out harder than everyone else in the gym. And that inspires me. That's just me personally. That's number one. So for to me, when I see them, I'm like, damn, you're working out. I'm younger than you, and I could do more, but you're pushing your body to the limit beyond that. Shit, I can't complain. I gotta do something, right? You're winning in my eyes, so I gotta do more. That's one. And I think secondly, when you figure out what is a winner or loser in your own definition, right? Your definition. If and by that I also want to add on, right? If you measure your life by measurables, meaning if you measure your life by how many people you sleep with, how much money you have, how many cars you have, how big your house is, you're going to be miserable. You're gonna have a hard and horrible time, right? If you think winning is to be someone like Andrew Tate the entire time, all the time, it's a very hard, difficult life. I'm willing to bet
Right.
$5,000, which I don't have. Andrew Tate cries at night by himself because he has to keep putting on his persona all the time. You can lie to yourself about the fact that
Right.
I'm successful, but that's not what it is. And the third thing is, at least to me, right? Once you figure out those first two things, and it took me, honestly, it took me, I'm gonna say like 8 years to figure it out. Right? This is me, trial, tribulation, figuring out over and over again. For me, when you figure out those first 2 points, point three is you are a man because you know you're a man. Period. Full
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah. I I think therefore I am, like that quote. Like if I think I'm a man, if I believe I'm a man, I am a man. And you can embrace your own brand of masculinity. There's nothing wrong with thinking about it, AJ. And this is also what I was saying. Like you were in reading the red pill stuff, you are encountering also just a variety of messages. And I always say we don't all get the same memo growing up. And I think it's especially true with men now. There was a mom who made a very good point. She said, I know I can tell my daughter girls can be anything in girl power. But what do I tell my son? Male power? Men can be, because it kind of sounds like there's only one bad way, because it sounds bad, because we're used to it being when men have these things. But boys need to be uplifted too. Boys need to be told there's a way to have power and be successful and do whatever you want to do in a way that does not harm other people. That you can have character while you do that and be a decent human being. Uh, but I'll be honest, like there were times when I look back at my own relationships where I used to say decency was my detriment. Like a lot of women would even say like, "Whoa, you care about all this stuff?" Like I'm not used to men. It's almost like the mere act of caring about something that they're not, in my instances, in my experience. But I've had many friends say similar stuff. It's one thing to want the the change. It's another thing to have to experience it. And there are women out there who certainly want men to be things that completely make sense and completely would be better. but maybe aren't ready for the experience because it's a different experience. It's an experience that kind of talks once that you're both open and vulnerable and talking about feelings and shit, and someone wants to kind of know more about what you think and feel and isn't just leading the whole thing and not caring and operating from that kind of default position as many men do. So we have to also acknowledge the lived experiences of men. We certainly don't do it to women enough, and we don't even acknowledge sexual assault. Like, I mean, just to go on a brief tangent, Andrew Tate sexually assaulted women, and they testified. And not only that, he said, like, so much dumb shit. Like, if I was guilty, I wouldn't be here. It's like such circular logic. He was like saying, well, Romania's system is like Zambia's system, but that's also why he fled to Romania, because he thought the legal system would be lenient, and then they did let him go back to
Yeah.
the U.S.
Yeah, there's a loose paraphrase quote I'm going to say about Andrew Tate. He was kind of like, yeah, I'll go to Romania because it's so corrupt, and it's like, it's kind of just like, oh, there's an issue, a problem. I'll go to the sheriff's office or whoever and be like, here's your fucking money, shut the fuck up, leave me alone. I paid you, and that was his basically his rhetoric.
Right.
He
That was
talks
his
too
belief. I mean,
What'd you say, AJ?
I was just saying he talks too much.
Yeah.
Talks so much.
But also, like, he lies and it doesn't matter, just like Trump. Like the journalist said to him, but these did say you did this. Because he was like, where are the victims? And she's like, here. Like, and it didn't matter. Oh, here we fucking go.
oh, am I going to say my quote? Kid, am I going to say my quote? She's saying yes. I'm going to say my quote. Nah, I'm not going to say it.
No, we're good. We're good.
We're good. We're good. This is a great episode. All right, this is a great episode. We have so many clips out of this.
This is a great episode. This is a great episode for evidence I can present to Verizon.
Clock that.
Stop it.
Oh, my boy. Verizon said, "You talking smack? Cut." Yes.
I have D&D right now.
Oh man. Evan, we gotta cut it short. We gotta cut it because
Anyway, we're gonna. I know we'll end soon, but what I want to say is, like, to end kind of with acknowledge. Here we fucking go with the upload speed. 47%.
I am loving every minute of this.
That's a failing test. Now it's 33. Now it's 65. Now it's 71. What is going on in my apartment? What the fuck is this? Okay. Now it's 82. Anyway, we have to listen to each other better and care, because a lot of men don't seem to give a shit. It's not so much whether he's guilty or not. To me, a lot of men just don't care that he sexually assaulted women. I think that's what it comes down to. A lot of men, it's just they still ingrain a level of victim, like she should have been wearing this. Maybe he was rejected. And like somehow I know women who made me feel this way, and like somehow revenge to the sense of violence is understood. And like we talked about previously, 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted, a widely known UN statistic. I think most boys should be educated that. Most boys should know this is the world that women encounter. But I also think we need to listen to men more to hear about how so much of what we're told not to do hasn't given us direction what to do. And also the ways of changing behavior that we're supposed to do many times are not actually accepted in reality.
Evan, I think me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have more to add. However, I think I want to, at least if I could, I want to each of us give actual, because the way you ended it's just like we tell boys and men what not to do, right? And to paraphrase what you said is like, just because you tell someone where not to go You don't tell them where to go. So I think we should each try to give some sort of advice to young men out there of like, hey, forget about not doing this. They've already been told what not to do, right? Congratulations, clap, clap, bravo, whatever. What are some tangible things, actionable things most young men across, I'm going to say America, can actually do to try to become an actual secure man as an individual? That's, oh, I did a question today. Mm.
Okay. So
You should start. You
yeah, you should
started it.
start.
You
Yeah,
should
you
you
can
should
get the
start.
question. You should
Whoa,
start.
whoa, 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 whoa. Shoot, I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't think I
You
would get
asked the
this far.
question.
I think I would get this far. um, okay, all right. Okay, at least in my opinion, right? Um, so legally speaking, being an adult turned 18, I'm 32 now, so that's 14 years of being an adult. Um, I personally think, that, and they got my boy. I didn't have an answer. I'm not gonna lie.
Not yet. Now you can think of one. Hurry up.
I'm thinking my brain's not going. The soju kicked in too much.
Mm.
Okay.
I know for a fact that this rum has made me incoherable. Somewhere. Example:
Let 'em know.
the word incoherable.
Incoherable. I was like, that's not a word.
Okay. I heard it when I said it, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to change it.
They got my boy. Right.
All right.
Right.
All right, go ahead, Olivier.
All right.
Yes. What's your advice?
Shoot. I
If
had it,
FBI Jim will
and
be
then,
so kind.
FBI Jim messed us up, and I started laughing way too much. All right. So this, okay. So this is me 8 years being legally an adult. I think personally, I think people say, "Oh, get comfortable with rejection." I don't think I don't think that's the answer, right? I personally think you need to get comfortable with the fact that you are wrong, right? Because getting feedback is just getting feedback, or being comfortable with rejection is nothing. I think you need to get comfortable with the fact that, like, you as an individual could be wrong, possibly wrong, right? The way you think, the way you breathe, the way you act, the way you live life, it could be wrong, right? What I mean by is the fact that, like, if someone is, what I mean by is this, right? if if the way you approach, for heterosexual men, right? If you approach multiple women and multiple of them reject you, right? I would say you have some evidence fact that, like, hey, the way you're approaching them is wrong, right? You could be wrong. You need to change your game plan, change something about what you're doing. That's what I mean. Um, how does it look exactly? It depends. It depends. You can't change your physical features. To a certain degree, you can, right? But you can't. You I mean, technically, you can get. I know some people are doing like height extensions, but that's, you may have the money to do that. But whatever, right? That's a whole other issue. What I'm trying to say is the fact that, um, when I say, try to say, like, like, you could possibly be wrong, is the fact that the way you think, breathe, act, the way things you believe in, may not be serving you in a positive way, right? If the way you keep doing things and keeps getting hurt or rejected or just denied, right? It's like, hey, maybe don't keep doing that, right? If you burned your hand once, why would you burn it twice? If you burn your hand twice, why would you burn it three times? Right? I think that's my advice to the young men out there. It's like, hey, remember that, that one line of joke you did, right? You tried it 14 times and it didn't work, and work on 15. If you break down the numbers, 14 divided by 15, majority of the time it didn't work. So just don't do that. Just don't do that. Instead, what you do instead, right? I told you what not to do. What you do instead, in my opinion, is, honestly, yes, I do think you should go to work out, right? Or find some sort of thing that makes you physically active. And I think you also need an activity that is passive and allows you to think and reflect. That could be sewing. It could be meditating. Personally, I like making pearly beads. Hold on, let me show you. Let me show you. Right. All right. I made my own 3D Pokeball. Right. Right. Okay. And they got my boy. Come on, man.
You said one actionable thing.
I'm sorry.
That's why Jim stopped.
Jim was like, this boy is cooking too much.
One actionable thing, Libby.
Okay, all right. Listen, okay, this is my actual thing, right?
I saw the Pokeball. I saw the
All right, cool. All right, my actual thing is this, right? I think you need one physical activity to allow your physical frustrations and physical anger and whatever, right? Whether it's hiking, jogging, whatever, something physical, and you need a calm, passive one. Sewing, knitting, uh, um, uh, I don't know, making perler bead stuff, right? Something that's more quote unquote artsy, right? I don't care what it is. Something that forces you to slow down and reflect and think, right? So there you go, AJ. I did it. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm not the co-host. I was just trying to help.
Technically, you are. At the beginning, you were considered a co-host, so yeah.
All right, whatever. Hey, listen, here's my one actionable thing. One actionable thing is in the beginning of your day, when you wake up, don't go on social media. Wait 2 hours before you go on any social media when you wake up. That gives you time to get yourself ready to go. You know, did he, did Olivia, did Olivia, you there?
I'm still here. My camera just
Oh, okay.
just went out.
Take time to reflect. You know, if you are worried that you're going to be bored when you don't have something to look at immediately when you wake up, good. It allows you to think for yourself. I think that social media is a big reason why a lot of men don't know how to like think for themselves. So just when you wake up in the morning, don't have it immediately be a thing where you go to Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Just be with your own thoughts for 2 hours. I think that is one way that you can figure out what you really believe, what you really enjoy, what you really like, and you won't be so needy to be on social media all the time. That's my takeaway. Just a stepping stone. It's not like the immediate and all be all thing, but yeah, that's what I would say.
I feel like they got him. They kind of got me, but I feel like they got Evan too. I knew it.
This is awful. This is so bad. Does this happen all the time?
No, it okay. The most honestly, the most has ever happened is like 4 times. It's never been like 7, 8, 9
This is
times.
the 9th time.
This is historic. It's almost like the Knicks winning.
Is it my fault?
No, it could be because you're San Antonio and we're in New York and we won and we beat you.
So I know this is supposed to be a wireless laptop, but I think I'm just gonna have to say fuck that and just connect it like an old, like an old desktop. I think that might be the temporary solution next time, not this time. Um, I think you both gave very important advice, and I think really, yeah, that there is no in the society we live in that time for reflection and introspection is just so not valued because everything's about producing. Everything's about, especially as a man, everything's about producing, making something, money, getting this result, that result. But what you both are talking about is learning about yourself, trying to center yourself, trying to find peace, trying to find moments of peace, trying to truly sit with emotions. So all of these are really important. What I will say is that I do think it's important to learn when you're wrong, but I think it's also important to balance that. First of all, I think right and wrong can be kind of strong words. I think it's important to look at when things didn't go as you wanted and think about how they can go better. As a guy that is very clearly, very often would do my best and would know sometimes outright, if not suggested, that my height was just the factor. Like way too short, shorter than short. So I kind of grew up with a very difficult things like I know I almost have to outpace something. So it's hard for me to judge how the interaction actually went because this variable is always there that I know is a problem for most women, which is its own thing that we can talk about and is something that men struggle with, whether it's height, whether it's other sort of some men can't grow a beard and some men have a very high pitched voice, but all of these things go with like quote unquote more feminine qualities. They're kind of all in that pool. And the ability to have success with romance and even making other male friends, for me, that was less of an issue. I think because I grew up kind of with a tough school, I always kind of knew how to just deal with guys. But you also kind of have to accept where there's only so much you can do and that it's not your fault and that you are enough. Because I think there's a degree of men that's kind of like this extreme. It's either I'm going to get revenge on this woman, fuck all women, or like I am nothing. And I'm never going to have XYZ. And the healthy balance is somewhere in the middle where we can accept, yes. So, and years of therapy have helped me realize that there's a difference between accepting something exists in society and internalizing it. So, white supremacy might be saying certain people are inferior. We know that's not true, right? But that doesn't mean that there aren't some people that hear it so often that the terrible thing is they internalize it. Sexism and gender can do the same thing, that women aren't XYZ, and then women can internalize it. Even if we say it's not true, you could still internalize it. And on a smaller level, for me, it was like I was internalizing that my height made me less attractive and less of a man. It doesn't mean that in society all of these things exist in society, racism, sexism, all of these things exist. The thing is, you shouldn't believe it internally. And that's hard because you keep getting this message and it's almost like you feel crazy because someone keeps telling you XYZ, but you have to keep telling yourself that's wrong. And that's very difficult, I think, for a lot of men. To say so many people are telling you to be this type of man, but you have to keep saying that's wrong. So the thing I would tell men is the most masculine thing you can have is a moral compass. And you got to stick to that shit. And the stronger man you are is mean you stick to that shit regardless what you hear because you know this is the right thing to do. And everything you're both saying can help you be more at peace with that moral compass and more at peace with yourself. And more at peace with deciding who you are because you're spending time with yourself unfiltered, as you mentioned, AJ, not bombarded by social media messages telling you to be this type of man and that type of man. So finding that compass with yourself is one of the most masculine things. Not I feel this is right because I feel this is right, not because Andrew Tate fucking said it.
Sticking to what you
so
believe.
That's where I'll go for that is establishing your moral compass.
I still can't see you, Olivier.
Yeah. So my camera went out and it will not allow me to turn it back on unless I leave and come back. And I'm not gonna lie, Bad Jim to win this match.
Okay, I feel you. So you're going incognito.
Incognito. I mean, they got me halfway. All right. Yep, they got my faith and then get my voice. Power to the people.
No, they're not going to get your voice. Okay, well, this has been great, except for FBI Jim. Fuck you. But the rest of it has been great. They can't stop. We won't stop. And any other? Oh yeah, we want to do that at the end of our clips. But regardless, fuck, we need it. And you know who's not like Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes,
Justin Wheeler,
Justin Waller, Sneeko. What? Yeah, exactly. They're getting
paid.
They're going to give a shout out to the Jam podcast, another great podcast for young men.
FD Signifier.
Okay, anyway.